We wouldn't get, but we had to kind of like force coach to like, hey, coach, we need the XYZ. And he was reluctant to give up the money, but
Mm.
you know, it is what it was. I wasn't even we weren't even tripping about it. Nothing like that. It
Mm.
just that's just how it was. You know, for me is,
Yeah.
why is it so hard to get paid when you are generating so much money for the school?
Yep.
You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah.
Off the back, off is the plantation owners and
Well, you just said it right there.
basically what it is money now.
What
They was
you just said it because
Mm.
uh if you really think about it, Marlins, they did reason why it's legal now because most of your HBU schools was getting those 4 and 5 star high school players, and the
Yeah.
PWIs was like, no, y'all, we can't. Hey man, we got to do something now. We can't let them slip through our fingers because they was our bread and butter. Well,
Yeah.
it's hard. A HBU school hard is to compete with a PWI school who got really billions of dollars.
yeah.
Mm.
And I think that's why Deion Sanders did what he did when he was at Jackson State. You
Mm.
know, everybody want to talk bad, but he the one who had to really he had to kind of challenge them to like, hey, y'all ought to see
Yeah.
what's going on. Like, hey, man, you got talent, but they in the ghetto or they in a poor
Yeah.
community. And y'all schools, the PHBU school, really can't offer them nothing. So you're like, hey, I got to try to upgrade. And he pretty much
Yeah.
upgraded Jackson State. And
Yeah.
so what he did was, but he also challenged those PWI schools. So now, now these kids come in, Marlins, they making millions of dollars before they go to the pro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about, come on, man. You 1 year in college, you already getting 500,000 a year.
And if you the right one, you get millions.
Exactly. Now, my friend told me today. He said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, my friend nephew, out of he played for Utah, University of Utah, Utah State, whatever it was. They pay that cat, and he's a linebacker. Pay him
Mm.
$230,000 a year,
Ooh.
and he was just a
On the
freshman.
books. Huh?
And he was just a freshman last year.
Wow.
So what does that tell you?
It's
They're
a
like,
lot of money being generated by these colleges.
I mean, when put it this way, me and Marlins, we old school. When we hear something like that, we like, well, damn, because it's really like you busting these schools down to like really junior college level in a sense,
Yeah.
because nobody ain't gonna, them kids ain't gonna stay in school, man. Come on, you're
Yeah.
making all that money. You may get a kid that probably ain't never seen that type of money, stay 3 years
Yeah.
in college, probably accumulate. If he's real good, get an endorsement, whatever, and plus get paid. He be like, man, I don't need to go to pro. I'd have made enough money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I can trade some of this money. I can go on the trading block and start trading my money to generate
Yeah.
money. I can
Yeah.
use that money to invest, whatever, if he's smart. What you say, Juicy?
I said that's what rich people do. Rich people let their money work for them instead of working for their money.
That's the whole key. If you notice that rich kids, really rich kids, parents or kids of rich parents, they really don't play sports. they,
They
they,
Mm.
teach them to invest
they
or
teach
start businesses.
exactly. And I'm talking about opening up 2 or 3 businesses. So if one becomes really good, you can sell it for $1 billion or $1 trillion, whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is, and be set.
Well, the thing that's working now is them Airbnbs.
Of course, real
Big
real
time, but you
estate.
gotta put it in the right state though.
Right. Well, what is the right state?
Yeah.
It's those
California, Las Vegas,
well, you talking look think about the places where people want to go all the time and
San
and
Diego.
vacation. Them resorts area.
Florida.
Florida,
Las Vegas, Miami.
Miami, hell, Bahamas, all that.
Yeah.
It works down. That money works down there too. You
Yeah.
know, you get you a one of those fancy luxury log cabins in the whatever Colorado mountains or whatever with the snow and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that, yep, up there too.
You know, so you know it's man. Look, it's where you have to sit back and say, does this really life works for everyone? That's a question I want to ask each one of y'all. Does this life really works for people that maybe we didn't have maybe the advantage like others, but does it really work for us? Ron, let me ask you that. Does the life really works if you knew somebody who maybe father was a CEO of a company and both you and the son went to the same college, got the same degree? Which one you think going to get the job if both of y'all going to apply for the job?
Of course.
All the time.
So, you know, again,
It don't even have to be that, T. It can be a country, a dude from the backwoods country go get a job versus a black dude that went to Harvard. You know who they gonna get that job. You know who they gonna want to represent their company.
exactly. So it's a challenge where correct. But see, and that's the thing. To me, it's brainwashing. And I'm telling you, you brainwash certain people for certain attributes to say, oh, you better than this group. And really, both y'all groups ain't better than us. And I'm saying super rich. So
that's why this I take education away from people.
exactly. So again, my question is to each one of y'all, and I if my homeboy was here, because I had to tell him because he had two daughters. One graduated from Howard, and the other one about to I think graduate from North Carolina A&T. And I kept telling him, I said, let me tell you something, bro. This system was not created definitely for the African American community, but definitely wasn't created for poor people just across the board. So, with that being said, do you agree, Marlis or Miss Juicy, to do you really think that this system that we have to work in and get up every morning and make sure our kids is righteous and all this other stuff, is it really created for us or no?
No.
Man.
Come on, Raw. No, let Miss Juicy answer first, and then you come back and answer.
She got it.
I can say that is because I used to work in finance, and I've met with all them people that have the money.
And they got that money, don't they?
They sure do. They know that the taxpayers have no say in whether or not we have to bail out the economy.
Now, ain't that some bull crap? That's
What do you think they're trying to do with the dollar right now?
Well, I could see, of course, the dollar ain't gonna put dollar worth no more 60 cents soon. And that's when reparations is going to be given out. See, they ain't slick. Once the dollar bill go down to hell, even maybe 50 cents. Oh, we'll go ahead and give reparation to y'all because it's not going to be worth nothing. We'll give every family $5 million. Well, guess what? You got to pay the taxes. Then what? You take half of it back. So it's not a lot. This is why I say.
But I tell you what, let them give me $2.5 million. That's more I'd have made in my life.
The good book is The Creature from Jekyll Island. It talks about how the Fed was created. Because they're separate from the government. They're not a government-owned entity.
So basically, they run their own. They got us on a puppet.
That's why Trump was so upset with the Fed, because they dictate the interest rates and the lending rates between financial institutions. And Mr. Trump likes to declare default and
yeah, he does. He loves,
run everything up down into the ground.
Exactly.
So what do you think is going to happen with our economy now that he's trying to build up in Gaza? That's all his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, whatever. He's the one benefiting from all that stuff. His kids is getting set up for life.
Set up for life. Now, again, a system. That system, what you just said, wasn't created for you and I. We can't get involved because they ain't gonna let us in.
Yeah.
I can't leave something for Rod, but then they'll probably turn around and take it.
Yeah.
My daughter, some of my other family members, I can't really leave nothing for them because they're gonna come back and take. That's why I couldn't understand. You leave stuff for your family, and then they're gonna say, "Oh, you're gonna have to go to probate court." Why I'm going to probate court? Why do I have to do that?
And if you put everything in a trust and it's not in your name, they can't touch it, huh?
Exactly. But I'm just giving you just some of the things that people don't know. They send them they got to go through probate court. Of course, they know put everything in the trust now. Everything got to go in the trust. Jana right now, trust and will. Whatever will immediately when I die, she gets it. But in the trust fund, that money is tax free. She ain't got to mess with it, and she can take as much out she want. And they won't. You know how you do your little 401k at the job, like, oh, we're gonna take an extra 20% because you took it out too early. None of that stuff, But when I find out how when you purchase a home, you ask for a loadio title. I don't want a regular deed. I want a loadio title that no one can't take it. Whether they say you owe tax, they can't touch it. They can't take it. But it's hard to get one.
You got to own the mineral rights too, because sometimes they try to do that where they say they can buy the stuff underneath your house.
Exactly.
And make you move because they've used that eminent domain.
So, and why? A good thing you brought that up. Why is such thing as an eminent domain? I'm gonna go to a quick break, and we're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about that allodial title because
I'm. He's been recording this.
Why not? My bad.
I don't want to know my personal views. I don't talk on Facebook or nothing because I'm one of them secretive.
Well, we didn't use your name and we don't see your face, so that's good. So hey,
you're anonymous.
You're anonymous. We're gonna take a 60. We're gonna take a 60-second break. Hold for the 60 seconds. We'll be right back. All right, we are back here live on the Very Opinionated Show. I'm your host, Jay that I am, with my boy Rod T and a good friend of mine and his wife, Brother Marlis, Ms. Chutsi. We have been talking about titles to trust funds, to how we see this future, and is this system that we live and operate in, is it for us? And I'm talking about common people, just regular, good, hardworking people. Now, Rod, let me ask you this, and we're going to switch gears. Have you thought about any possible family issue that you may kind of wonder about that you didn't really get a clear understanding on, maybe with us growing up, and you maybe didn't understand something and you just wasn't clear on, and maybe I can clear it up for you so you'll get an understanding where your granddad and grandma was trying to try to take us, and then I can share probably what happened, what went wrong down the line.
Mm. Actually, I do, but I just speaking on the last subject we had. Like, I think this is one of the first times that that I've talked to anybody in my family. Because you definitely my aunt about finances. Going, just other than working the job, getting paid, paying taxes, and all that, like
Right.
trust and we didn't have these conversations growing up. And I think you could the system is definitely not set up for us, but it's a lot of information out there that you got to that we have privilege to go get now. And it's the tides is kind of slowly turning, because I had never heard of trust and all of that. To just being on the internet and now listening to y'all, I'm just soaking up all the game y'all giving. I appreciate it, but as far as I always wondered, why did grandma and granddad get divorced? Was it like a big blow up or what?
Honestly, okay, I'm gonna tell you, for my on the phone folks, they don't probably, my dad was an evangelist. For 36 years he was a pastor, evangelist. Of course, I'm a PK kid, and a lot of people don't know that, having, secrets, it kind of does put a kind of like a halt to the family growth. But what we were try not to do is to not really, like, they said, well, family was done with the family, is that's what it is. You don't want to share that type of information with with the public. But I, I think for most family, they don't like talking about it. I think they should, and the reason why I say that is because it is still good therapy in a sense, because a lot of family is still hurting. They still need to be healed. Now, with that being said, Rod, to answer your question, the way how I heard it and the information that I got was, mom has your grandma explained to me that she said once your dad became a minister, he spent more time at church and for other people. And he said, she said, of course, he was still good father and then all that stuff, but he forgot about me. And she said, and that was the first time I ever heard TLC. I'm gonna show you how slow I was. She said, and she said, and your daddy forgot to give me TLC. I said, TLC? I said, Mama, I don't know, what is that? Of course, TLC wasn't out when this conversation. I'm talking about the group. Yeah. So I didn't know that a tender love and care, that's what that means. So, I was like, oh, okay, Mom, I understand. So, she said, well, I that's why I went out when me and Miss Mary would go out. Your Aunt Mary, we would go hang out, and because she said, she know I like to go out and dance and all this other stuff. And I don't think Mama would go out there and do other stuff. She just wanted to be out and whatever. But it did get to that point. Now, when I asked my dad why did he do it, he didn't do it. He said, man, that was the one thing that they didn't teach us in seminary school, where you still got a family and you still have to spend quality time with your family. So basically, Mama was saying dad didn't spend quality time. So that's one of the things that I talk about anytime I counsel or talk to young couples that get married, that make sure you put quality time in your marriage, because y'all need to spend time. If you got gonna have a couple of kids, please y'all make date night imperative that y'all go hang out. And I only got one. Me and Snow, we make our once a month, date night. Not saying that I'm for to get some action when I come home, but it was just the spending of the time. Wallace, you know what I'm talking about. So when I'm sharing this information, so mom is telling me, she said, well, I didn't want her to come off and tell y'all that that's what went down, but I didn't know that mama went after they got divorced and everything. Mama went back to try to get dad back, but your granddad refused. I guess his pride got in the way.
Okay.
Because they was having a conference in Waco. This is how it went down. Of course, he got the hotel and everything. So she went down there to meet him. And I guess they found out. She said, well, I'm his wife, da 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 da. And they let her in. And by the time he got back, she was at the hotel waiting. And my dad told me, he said, yeah, but I just told her, no, you hurt me. You hurt my heart, da 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 da. So, fast forward from that conversation, when I got married the first time, he turned around and told me, he said, yeah, I was fool. I said, I was really foolish to not take your mom back. That was the first thing, which that's pride. That's one of the 7 deadly sins, that we can't be prideful in situation, because of course he felt hurt or whatever the case may be, because your grandmother asked for the divorce. He didn't. Your granddad didn't. She just felt that it was they spinning their wheels, or they looking at each other, and it's like what the questions is being asked among couples now. Well, what are we doing? All the kids is gone. Well, what are we doing? We just going to do this every day? And I think that's where mom pretty much like, okay, look, I still got a lot of living to do, and you just want to do this particular routine. I don't want just that, And that's why I said sometimes us as men, we have to kind of like take it to the next level in talking and communicating, and ask certain questions. Sometimes we don't want to ask questions, but we have to ask questions. How do you feeling? What do you where you see us in the next 5 years, 2 years? How come we ain't been having sex? What's going on? Stuff like that. And you don't like asking those questions, but I believe it's imperative that we ask. So, and that was one part of it where they end up getting divorced, but I didn't know they were trying to get back together. And your granddad turned her down. And he was like, no. And pretty much, I think that my mom she from Mississippi. She wasn't the type to be running behind and chasing down no man. That just give Marlon, you met my mama, so you already know. Yeah, she just wasn't that type, but she was like, okay, I just, I want someone who's want to be around me. And of course, that's when Mr. Henry came in at. And of course, none of the kids didn't like him. God rest his soul. But we just did, it's not that. Who is this guy? We don't know him. Mama, why is you seeing this person? And by that time, I didn't already made a decision to go to Job Corps and then go to Western. So, I was like, well, at least I'll be away from the house for about 5 years. I ain't got to be around this. And that was kind of what my take on it in leaving, so I can be from among all of that. And, but yeah, I mean, hopefully that answered some part of, your question.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Let me get one more question.
Sure.
Because if anybody that knows us knows me and grandma was like tight. I knew grandma, but I didn't know granddad. So, like, knowing how grandma was, like, how could I describe her? Wildfire. Let's say that she was a character. Yeah. So how was granddad? Was he like serious or
Uh, okay, okay. I think I.
How would you describe him?
Well, I put it this way. I may share this story with you because you remember I told you I wasn't supposed to be born. Marlon, you didn't know that, did you? Yeah, I wasn't supposed to be born. The reason why I say that was Miss Juicy, I was considered the love child. No, for real, for real. After Valerie was born, the number 6 child, my mom, your grandma was going to leave Dad because he had an anger issue.
Really?
And yeah, he had a real bad anger issue. She said, "I'm finna leave your dad." She's yeah, that's what she was telling me. She said, "I'm finna leave your dad." But of course, I think my grandma talked to my mama, and she ended up staying. And Dad your granddad started spending, being nice and all of the other stuff, and they kind of like made up. And of course, anytime that you done with an argument is always the love making come in, and they said the best sex is the makeup sex. I don't know about that. I never experienced that, no makeup sex, but hey, but nevertheless, that's how I was conceived after an argument. And honestly, Marlon, you may be sitting over there because me and Snow we argue, but it seemed like I don't lose no hate for. I don't lose no love for. I don't have no type of animosity. I get it. I be upset, be frustrated, but not like. So I was like, okay, that must be rubbing off on me or something, because it had to be, because I was pretty much the makeup baby. Once they made up, that's how I was born, and that was. But my mom was forced to leave Dad based on his anger issues. And the only way that I was born is because he stayed, and he decided to say, I need to change my habits. I need to change the way how I talk to mama. I need to change the way how I talk to my wife, or my friend, or whatever the case, what was being said. So, but when Dad became a minister, he got serious. He got serious about his ministry, because he was a deacon first. And I think that's where the issue lies, because mama still like to hang out, do her thing, still have fun dancing. And Dad got real serious about being in the ministry, which ain't nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, it still wasn't nothing wrong with grandma or mama still going to want to hang out and all that other stuff. Because you know what your grandmother told me? She said,
what she said?
You know what she said? Marlon, watch this. She said, well, God didn't call me to preach. God called your daddy to preach.
That sounds like her.
I said, okay.
That sounds like her.
I said, okay, all right. I said, okay, Ma. I said, well, you got a point. I said, that is true. I said, but is it where you support? She said, yeah. And which mama would do. Mama would make sure that we ready for church. Mama would make sure that, all the girls' hair was done, and everybody was prepped, sent us to Sunday school and all of that. So I think she was still doing her part in a sense. It was just having so many of us, 7 kids you got to prepare, than just 1 or 2 kids. And she, by the time got down to me, it was time for us to be at church. So of course, Mama came. Mama came, man. She came every now and again on certain special occasions and stuff like that. But I just think she had a valid point. Like, well, God didn't call me to preach; He called you to preach. And I think Dad kind of took that maybe a little harsh. In the sense of he figuring. He looking at other ministers at the church that we was going to, or they wives is there, they there to whatever, even though they might not want to be there, but they was there, all that other stuff. So you had all this non-communication and this misconception about one what the other is thinking. So instead of just actually having to sit down, having a conversation, and be, so we get some clarity on it. But pretty much that was, because like I said, Dad, your granddad he had an anger problem. Man, when he whooped us, all the guys, the boys, your uncle, we got to take our shit off. We have to take our shirt off. You getting whooped like we Kunta Kinte or something. I'm like, Marlon, I didn't like that whooping. That's why I was a good child. I see the way how he whooped my oldest brother Alvin and David. I said, nope, boy, I just stayed in the house. I wouldn't even go outside.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I just stay in the house. I wouldn't even try to get in trouble, Rod. I just, you know what? Because I know my dad, he whoops hard. He was whooping like, man, you done seen a slave movie or something.
That's some old school whoopings right there.
That's old school whooping. And Marlon, I know because Ramon told me about the whoopings y'all used to get.
Yeah, my mom used to have to stop him sometimes. They'd be wrestling in the
wrestling.
Grab his arm and he grabbed her other arm, and I thought they was doing some kind of like dance or something.
Man, I mean,
I remember that.
But I remember it just, boy, you got to remember the times that we stay in back then was different. Rod, I don't remember really. I don't even really think that you ever got whoopings because you was a good son. You did exactly what you're supposed to be doing, stuff like that. And you did just whatever little kids does. And but I never seen you really get in trouble like your brother now. Your brother is getting in trouble. I don't know why, for whatever reason. And but I don't know why he would get in trouble like that.
I'm back. What was that last thing you said up?
I don't know why your brother Al would get in trouble like that. Because you wasn't the type to get in trouble.
Yeah. I learned from I learned quick, just like you did, huh?
Yeah, cause your mama, she remember no whooping, but my dad would try to whoop the girls, but then my mama would like, no, you're not whooping the girls. He was
soft on the girls?
Yeah, he would go off. I mean, like he was whooping the boys, and my mama didn't like that, so she was like, "That's it. You're not gonna whoop them no more. That's it." And pretty much that was it. I think after I'm gonna tell you what he said. Tell you exactly what your granddaddy said. I had made 12 years old. He said, "Everybody down," because everybody's like 2 years apart. He said, "When I made 12, he said, everybody down. He said, I'm not whooping y'all no more. Y'all know exactly what y'all supposed to be doing." Now he referring to a biblical age when Jesus launched out and started ministry at 12 years old. So he figured, well, at 12 years old, I don't have to tell y'all what to do. Y'all know exactly what y'all supposed to be doing. Take out the trash, do this, do that. Mama and daddy, we ain't got to be standing over y'all, or be reminding y'all and stuff like that. So pretty much 12 years old, we thinking, okay, no more whooping, but that does not mean don't stop raising us. You get what I'm saying? So that's where the off balance start coming in at, because once my dad say that.
Hey, hold on, T.
Okay. But yeah, once he said that, Rod, that was pretty much it, in a sense. Like, hey, what in the world is going on?
Yeah.
So pretty much your granddad pretty much. This is just he started like a generation curse and stopped raising us and start and stop like guiding us or to teach us. It was like a standstill. Like he stopped, and that's where I believe the challenges start coming in at, because I know you kind of hit around like, well, what happened to to grandma and granddad, but this is what actually, if you talk to everybody else, I think when mama and daddy got divorced, the kids pretty much like, man, we stopped hanging around, we stopped calling each other. Everybody pretty much said that grandma broke up the family and all that because she wanted a divorce. you know, and you
Yeah.
know, it
Yeah.
it it, it hurts, you know, but man, look, you gonna have to really realize that it was
Mm.
a challenge.
Yeah.
It was a challenge. Uh, it was just a
You
challenge,
know,
man.
and stuff like that really plays a part in, future generations, because from what I saw growing up, that motivates the way I live my life now, thinking. And
Right.
if you want to say trust issues, you spending your life with somebody, like you said, like communication, everything that I've learned, marriage is work,
Exactly.
and I'm willing to do the work, but it's like, okay, you know, is the other person willing to do it for a lifetime? That kind of plays into a fear, just to be
Exactly.
honest with you. I'm not
Correct.
saying I'm not gonna do it. I mean, I can see myself doing it one time. I'll be honest with you. I got one, but
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, I mean, like you say, generation curses, that plays a part, or what we do now plays a part into what our future generations going to do.
Correct. Correct. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because even with me uh
Mm,
having Jana,
hmm.
excuse me, it was plenty of times I wanted to just walk away. Not for Jana,
Yeah.
because for you know, me and Snow, we be arguing and stuff like that. But I said, no, I gotta stay here for my baby. But
Mm,
at the same time, Rod, let us try to work on what's going on with us
mm,
as the adults, you know,
yeah.
because I don't want to have her caught in the middle of something
Yeah.
that she has nothing to do with,
Yeah.
So of course I had to sit down and say, okay, I got to break this generation curse, because
Mm,
generational curse, because I don't want to, because of course at 12 years old, your grandma was single parent, you
yeah.
know, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, she still had me and Valerie to look after. Everybody else was pretty much grown,
Yeah.
you know, and out the
Yep.
house. So, she just,
Mm,
your grandma is just going kind of like a fear thing. Like, hey, look, y'all know what y'all supposed to be doing. I don't have to be
mm,
telling y'all. You're supposed to get up and go to school, eat your breakfast, da da
mm.
da da da, study, But of course, we ain't gonna do none of that, because we don't have nobody to watch over us, to
Yeah. Okay.
even to remind us, like, hey, do your
Mm,
homework. Did you do XYZ? Did you clean your room? All that stuff. So
mm.
it's
That's
it's
my first time hearing that. I didn't know that.
oh yeah, yeah. So
Because I heard the stories of you know, I don't want to say overparenting, but very strict, rigid household rules.
exactly.
Whoopings, and
It, it was it
I
was
didn't know it
strict.
was like that
No,
for
it was
y'all.
oh,
Wow.
it was strict. It was, man, look, we barely watch TV, so that's how that was
Yeah.
out. But it was a strict house, and that's why I say, and even some parents that I know, they're like, well, if I have kids, I ain't gonna be strict like my parents was to my kids.
Mm,
And that's why I let, kind of like I give Jana like a free kind of like, range of the house
yeah.
in a sense,
Yeah.
but of course I know when to shut it
Oh
down,
yeah. I
when
know it.
I see
Oh
she
yeah.
get out of line. But it's just the idea, man. We so busy uh try to kind of mimic
Mm,
our how we was raised,
yeah.
and don't know that is a curse, really,
Yeah. Right.
because I have to catch myself sometimes the way how I even raise my voice, or even
Mm,
sometimes I talk to Jana, because that's how I was talked to growing up.
mm,
Sometimes we
mm.
think that's the norm, and it's
Yeah.
not, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Uh, so I just, man, I pay
Mm,
attention to it. But if, at the same time, if you really think about it, man, our family members don't even sit down and just have a
mm.
conversation
Yeah.
about
Like
growing
like
up.
how me and you doing right now. We don't.
Exactly.
We don't.
So
We don't.
if we can relate, or we can get it off our chest, or we can
Mm,
kind of think about, hey, what was happening back then, shouldn't have been happening, but we should have been more of a proactive to make each other better or whatever XYZ. Like I say, I knew for a fact that our family was destined to be something great. But we just didn't take it as for that, And I'm sorry, go ahead, Marlon.
That was one of my nieces, my Terry's daughter. She drove to Arizona and been here all of them days, and now she leaving tomorrow. And I'm like, and she talking about, oh, I've been up to Sedona and all this.
But and didn't want to see you tomorrow.
And she leaving, so I'm like, been here, and she could have came by here and seen me, but oh well.
Yeah.
That girl, she stay in trouble too much.
Which one? The niece?
Akila.
Oh Lord, what do you mean trouble?
She be stealing and
see. I'm talking about Rod.
Sound like they were flicking a lighter, so they might be smoking marijuana. And I'm like, I didn't know Trina do that. If they doing it, because that's what it sounded like.
Right.
Man, yeah, that girl, because I had to tell Jasmine when Jasmine was living in California. I was like, if Keela come out there, you need to watch her. Because, she be stealing and she done been in jail like 5 times.
Wow.
Because she was working at Walmart and was stealing all the people's stuff out of the store and then selling it.
What?
Like, how you gonna work for a store if you're stealing the people's stuff
and selling it?
That's crazy.
About 3 months, they finally caught her.
Well, see, and let me tell you something. And they probably knew from day one when she was doing it. It was like, no, we're gonna let her build her stuff up. And
they watching all that stuff.
Because sometimes they'll wait a whole year to tally up how much, and then we can charge you for X amount of years. But 3 months, you better be lucky they wasn't no 3 years.
You ain't lying.
Because they'll, matter of fact, they'll give you a raise just for knowing that you want to continue to steal, so they can, when they charge you, they're gonna charge with the max.
They're gonna bring the hammer down.
They're gonna bring the hammer so hard. Matter of fact, they're gonna bring the sludge hammer down. Because I'm gonna tell you, Marlon, man, that's how, man, I'm tell you, that's how they work, Doc.
Yeah.
Man, God,
you ain't lying. That's crazy.
Doc, I tell you, man, these kids, they something else these days, though. Because, Trina sent me a graduation.
You're right.
And then she sent a picture with her and some girl on there, and I didn't know who it was at first. And sure enough, it's my niece, and because I hadn't seen her in a while.
Right.
And so then Trina go, well, oh, now you answer the phone and you didn't respond to my text. And Doc, when I do text her, it's like she don't even want to talk to me. Or when I text her, she don't respond. Hold
on, Trina, Trina, your daughter.
Yeah, but you telling me, that I don't want to respond when I be texting you and asking you how you doing and what you're doing these days and blah blah. And she might say something, but then as soon as I start, hey, what you doing? Are you okay? And everything going, the text stopped then.
So wait a minute, this being the same. Wait. So when she texts you, you text back.
No, I said, well, yeah, I usually text back, but then I start asking how you doing, what are you doing these days?
Right.
Are you working? Do you need anything? Then the conversation's over.
So in other words, she ghosts you.
Yeah, so then when she texts me and I got the invitation, then she want to call me and say, how come you didn't respond? When I do respond, it's like you don't want to talk.
Oh, my God.
These kids, man, I don't know what to say about them, bro.
Well, I mean, you got to just give them over to the Lord. That's for me. Once you actually like hand them over, trust me, they'll come running back. I mean, when I say they come running back, they come running back. Like literally hand them over. Like, God, you got it. You talk to them, you minister to them. But otherwise, I just be cordial. Like, hey, how you doing? Just checking on you. If they respond, they don't respond. And because what that does is they'll free them up from thinking that they got the leverage over you. And I'm like, you ain't gonna never have no leverage over me. That just I'm not gonna give you that.
Yeah.
You know, long as I do my part and reaching out, you choose to reach back, fine.
Yeah.
You choose to reach, that's even better. But otherwise, nah. Especially, man, you got 3 kids. I only got 1. Man, shit. Ballers, boy, ain't no way, boy. There ain't no way. Especially my son. If I had a son. And you know Marquise look just like you. So it's not like you didn't, it's not then you didn't came back. You already came back. Rod, he came back. He already reincarnated already.
Yeah.
Me, look, you laughing all this, but look, I told Snow, I said, look, if I die, you make sure Jana marry somebody who's like 6'6" and he's good looking. I said, no, don't. I said, no, not light skin, none of that. To make him like my color a little darker, so I can come back.
Yeah,
I can come back.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Man, look here.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, look, Marlon, look. I'm like, hey, I'm telling you, because look, if you think about it, if you have a girl, that still give you the opportunity to come back through your child. A lot of people would say that. I'm like, man, I believe that. I believe that like real strongly that you have the girl, boy, like, hey, and for the guys, we different because Marquise just have to pick the right one. But hey, have Marquise ever introduced you to his girlfriend? Or do he have one?
No girlfriend.
He don't have one? How do you know, man? Wait a minute, how do you know?
His mama just said he just work and stay in the house all day and don't go nowhere. And he just stay in his room.
That's it?
He used to go places.
But wait a minute. So he worked, where he working at?
Well, he's the coordinator for a doctor's office.
Okay.
And he worked from home. And so
all them nurses around there, man, because them nurses is hot, boy. They be hot, boy.
Yeah, they do.
Come on.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know, man. Like he told me, like when one time when he was when we was driving, when I had to go pick him up from U of A in Tucson. And I was like, well, how's it going down here? You meeting any girls or how your schoolwork, blah, blah, blah. I was like, how come you don't have no girlfriend? And he said, man, 2 of his friends, one of them was his roommate for all 4 years at U of A.
Right.
And so he done seen how his friend and the girlfriend interacted all them years. And he was like, man, it's just too much drama. I don't even want no drama like that.
So in other words, he got afraid that he may find one that's gonna give him drama. Just don't find one that don't give him drama.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. Yeah. Man, look, you just got to get you one of them quiet ones. And man, look, man, come on.
It ain't like he ain't had a lot of opportunities, because
he's a handsome young man.
I tell you, man, when that boy was in high school, man, I used to drop him off over to a girl house, and they used to do homework together. And then I remember, like, some girl came to our house for the prom and picked him up. Yeah, I was like, man, that cat ain't nothing like me.
Of course. Like, boy, do you know what your daddy was back? Whoa, your daddy. Ooh, boy, your daddy was something else.
Yeah, can I hear a story? Can I get one story? Let me get one.
Rod, he was sticking and moving, boy.
Oh, man.
My family sure don't let me forget that. When we Denver, Colorado.
Oh yeah.
They always just say, yeah, I remember for them 3-4 years, all of them girls used to have one every different day.
Every different day, because Ramon told me about that. That's why I said, man, come on, man. Really? Like, yeah. I said, boy, y'all spilling the beans,
Man.
I mean, look here, Rod. Look here. I'm gonna just say this here, and most of the Louisiana guys, they gonna get the woman. They gonna get and look, you better not be careful. You be around. They be around your woman. They'll get your woman too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Them rascals there, boy.
Man.
Hey, you see
Smooth.
what Jada Pickett and that other boy. I forgot that old young cat name.
Alcina, wasn't it?
Whatever that young cat name, he was from Louisiana. He was from Louisiana.
I ain't know that. I ain't know that.
Master
You talking about entanglement, huh?
Yeah, that entanglement dude. That man, look here. They throw that boy, that French, and all that for sure, and all that.
Yeah.
That's it. This is over with.
Yeah,
they
one of my best friends from out there. Oh yeah, I know how they do it.
Like, man, them cats, boy. Like, what them cats got?
Oh man.
But yeah, man, I just stuff like that, man. Because and look, we were just talking about the name out today. A friend of mine, we were talking about how we grew up, man, and you got to remember back then with big families in the neighborhood, and 11 kids, 8 kids, 7 kids, man, 5.
They don't make them like that no more.
They don't even make them, man. They don't make no families like that no more. And the reason why, because if you really think about it, the cost of living is too high.
It's ridiculous.
It's totally ridiculous. You can't even look.
And another thing is the family is not what it used to be. Like, because when we was growing up, man, we didn't go to no daycare. We went to our auntie and our grandma's house.
Well, yeah,
right.
Yeah, and
people gotta pay $500, a week for one kid.
Okay, watch this. I'm glad that you brought that up. Now, what is the difference? Really, not because when we was growing, like you just said, aunties and big mama and them, and even sometimes your neighbor who you've been there for a long, long time. She like, we'll watch your kid until you get home. Blah 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 blah. Well, now people have put stipulation with the government in, and now you had, they came up with these rules and said, oh no, you abandoning your child and all this other stuff. Now people is forced to put their children in daycare.
Because now everybody got to work.
And now everybody got to work. But you still don't have nobody to watch their kid. But no, we're gonna allow people to open up daycare, and they got to be under a tax number and all this other stuff. So look here, man. The government is all around slick to me.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna have their hand in everything. And of course, who in the world thought that we would ever pay for water? You laughing because I don't remember paying for water.
I don't remember that either.
Paying for water when we was young. I'm trying to remember. All of a sudden, we getting to a point in life where we paying for water.
Man, you know, your nieces and nephews. My cousin and my brother. We hit that water hose every time we would go to grandma's house.
Right, because it was cold, huh?
It sure was. That was the best water.
So
they ain't doing that nowadays.
You can't even attempt to even drink out the hydrant in the kitchen.
That's true.
Oh yeah, that's the bad stuff then.
Because ain't Moses, I was at your house one time when you had the house that you lit a lighter under the water and it was caught a fire. Was that you?
No, that wasn't me because I had one of them reverse osmosis things when I had that house.
Oh, that's right. You had it in the garage. That's right. I remember that because you said the water will dry out your skin.
Yeah, man. I used to be on fire, cuz.
I know I was at something, man.
But hey, Doc, I tell you this. I guarantee you, like, let's say we was about 10, 15 years younger, but we're living right now. I guarantee you we gonna open up a daycare and we'll make buku money if we had the people to watch them, the teachers and all that.
Oh yeah.
It'll be, man, people will be calling us like crazy.
Y'all was making money hand over fist.
Hand over fist. But you know, man, really, I just think that we have not taken the really grasp on what's going on in this side of life, because it's like everything that we talking about, where it wasn't like that 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago. Now it's the opposite. And it's like, you know, we seen our mom and granddad and them work all their life and died pretty much with nothing, because we are the recipient end of it and we don't even have nothing.
Yeah.
So are we keeping that same trend up as a generation curse to say, or generational curse, like, hey, my mama and them didn't left us nothing. They're like, I'm not gonna be able to leave my family. No. And see, that's what we have to pretty much, I said, take charge in the sense of finding out as much information as we can, because information wasn't shared like it was, like it is now.
But T, here go the kicker though.
Okay.
We don't have to leave our kids nothing. You know why? Because they like 10 light years ahead of us. Like,
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
That's true.
And tell your daughter, by the time she get out of school, they're gonna be waiting for her to be a doctor.
Yep. That is true.
Who would have told us that back then?
They were like, no, not you Negroes. No, we can't.
Yeah, that's true.
Not y'all.
Yeah.
Because they already, because like I said, Gianna already got a secure job already. She just need to become a nurse. Once she become a nurse, that's it. Even when she's in high school and she's need her community hour service for graduation, he told her she can just come there and get it. As long as she's going to work in the nursing field. And then he said, I want to hire you. I'm going to pay you the highest one. Like, man, straight out of college like that.
You already set up.
Already set up. But, you know, again, you know, and I try to tell her mom, this is what networking is.
Oh, yeah.
My mama and daddy didn't know about no networking.
No, you're right.
Especially my dad, he didn't know nothing about no networking. He just knew of people. Only thing we was told, see, look at their son. They saw him playing sports. Okay, well, Dad, put us in sports. Who we need to talk to?
Yeah.
Who you need to talk to? But see, it's not like that. Wasn't like that for men models back then. Pretty much we had to do our own recruiting.
Yeah. You have to figure it out on your own.
Right, figure it out on your own. Now, man, you be going field level. You can go on the other sites, put your stuff, load your video up, and sit back and watch somebody. About 10 colleges are going to reach out to you.
They're gonna come. Yep, they're gonna come to you, and you get paid.
And you get paid on top of that. Now, see how easy that was, Marlins?
Yeah.
Now,
but Doc, you know what? Like, if black people really wanted to make a difference in this world, all the rich blacks who got money.
Exactly.
You know the two biggest avenues to make money is real estate and old folks' homes.
Oh yeah. And make it more modern, the old folks' home.
Yeah.
You are so good.
I didn't even think about that.
So that's something we might have to look into. Man, because I'm not.
Imagine the old folks home and you had some reputable people that you did background checks on to make sure that they don't abuse these, elderly people.
Exactly.
Man, do you know how, and you put it all on Facebook and Instagram, do you know how many people would be calling your place?
Yeah.
And how much money you would be making?
Exactly, because you got to remember, you getting paid, your organization or your company getting paid straight from Social Security or whoever they're getting their money, Medicaid, Medicare, whatever, that money comes straight.
That's from their family too, because their family don't want to deal with them.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. It's going to come from it somewhere, but definitely, Medicare, and all that other stuff, or insurances, whatever, you automatically know you're going to get paid. It's not like you're not going to get your money. But of course, it's someone who's rich, who got then they like, man, we like y'all establishment for people over 60 or whatever the age is, and or not a hospice, but someone where they can what they call it, what kind of living they call it, Marlon? I know you know. Not old, assisted living.
Yeah,
assisted living. And and I guarantee you, you're so correct. But look how many, like your boy, I ain't gonna say it. No, I'm gonna say his name. What's that rascal name with the beard? He's a rapper out of Georgia. What's his name?
Rick Ross.
Ricky Ross.
Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even Florida, but I think he got a lot of property in Georgia, and all that property that he has out there. You mean to tell me he can't put that on part of his acre of land and make
Easy.
all that money? And you hire the right people to take care of those people.
Yep.
The right nurses.
Yeah.
Have you good black doctors to come straight out of college or something like that to come through twice a week or 3 times a week, and check them out and all this other stuff. But you have nurse on call 24/7 there. They rotating shifts out. Man, come on. But they say, I heard about them LVNs, boy. They said, boy, them LVNs is something else. I heard about.
What you mean? How they something else, huh? What you mean?
They said, boy, they be in the construction room, just getting down, boy.
Oh man!
Oh man!
Wow.
Hey man, look, these are stories I be hearing. I say I don't believe that, but hey man, I know the nurses get down. When them at the hospital and stuff, because hell, even when I was finding out that I was diabetic, and I stayed in West Houston Hospital for 7 days, and man, Marlon, this nurse, every time she just want to come in the room and just and just do stuff.
Yeah, be around you, huh?
They just want to be around me and want to grab and all this other stuff. And I'm like, what? So y'all something else.
You shoot the shot up.
I was like, okay. I mean, but hell, I wasn't. I was trying to find out what was wrong with me, and you were about trying to look at my third leg and all this other stuff. I said, come on. But yeah, man, them nurses something else, man. But you just have to pick the right ones for business like that. But man, look, man, if you really think about this journey, man, it's a challenge already. And just think about if poor people can't have accessible health care and accessible Medicaid or medicine to get, it makes you kind of wonder, like, what kind of system that we are living in that we are being overlooked like this. And of course, you can't holler America is land of the free. That's a lie. That's I don't know why they would say that, because it's not, because it's free to only certain people. But for me, I just said, man, I try to do the best I can with what I have, but also enhance what I have. Because that's basically we all can do. That's pretty much all we can do.
True.
But man, look here, we're gonna take a break right quick, and we're gonna close. I have some closing remarks out, and I hope this was a good topic for you guys. We'll be back in 30 seconds. are back here live on the Very Opinionated Show with I'm your host, Jay, there I am, with my boy Rod T, and my good friend of mine and his wife, Brother Marlis, and Ms. Juicy. Guys, this has been a good talk, and I love talking with you guys. Any closing remarks, Rod, you want to say? And I'll let Marlis close out, and then I will close it down.
I appreciate you having me on the show, Unc, and the candid answers you gave me about my questions, and I appreciate the convo. Appreciate Marlis and his wife too. I appreciate y'all.
Y'all hear that, Marlis? Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, Marlis. I had you on mute. I'm sorry, man. Marlis.
Oh, it's all good.
All right, man. Hey, man, we're gonna give you the closing remarks, and I say something to the people so we can go ahead and close it down.
Well, all I can say is we just keep moving forward. Keep being the best that we can be each and every day, and have respect for all people, and you're gonna live a blessed life.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Rob, we're gonna give it back to you again. So I hasn't had my boy on mute, so he didn't get a chance to hear what you said. So
yeah, I appreciate the convo. Appreciate all this and his wife. Appreciate the game y'all was giving earlier, and I just appreciate the convo and listen to the. I don't want to call y'all old and elderly. I'll say the elders. You know what I mean? The OGs. We'll say that.
OGs.
I appreciate the convo. I appreciate y'all.
Well, hey guys, look. I always say this here is that if we are not challenged, we remain unchanged, and I know every day we do face challenges. And I would tell anybody that's watched this show that, always be positive and be strong, because, we do see changes in this society, and we want to be on the right side of the change. All right, guys, that will end the Very Opinionated Show. And also, we just want to tell you, go to my nephew podcast, the Quality Life podcast, him and Boss Messiah. They doing good thing over there. They be chopping it up too as well. So give them guys a shout out, and also for us, you subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe to the Very Opinionated Show. Peace out, y'all.
All right.